Caddie set the lamp again on the table. Mother had come back with her shawl and bonnet. She and Caddie looked at each other silently, their eyes frightened and questioning. They stood together near the table, listening to the rumble of men's voices outside. All the peace and friendly security of the quiet room had flown out into the February darkness when Father had opened the door. It seemed a very long time before Father came back. His face was grave, but outwardly he was calm as usual. "What is it, Johnny? What is it?" cried Mrs. Woodlawn, unable to bear the suspense any longer. "Nothing serious, I hope," said her husband, laying his hand absently along Caddie's shoulder as he spoke. "A man from the county west of here came into the tavern tonight and told the men that the Indians are gathering for an uprising against us." "Massacre!" breathed Mother, laying her hands against her heart. Her face had gone quite white. "No, Harriet, not that word," said Father quietly. "Not yet. I hope this is only a tavern rumor, and nothing more. Many a fool who has had too much to drink will start a rumor. I am willing to stake my farm and a good deal that I hold dear besides on the honor and friendliness of the Indians hereabout. Still, we must keep clear heads and be ready for emergencies. Whatever happens, the white settlers must stand together. I have told Kent that the neighbors must gather here." "Yes, yes," said Mrs. Woodlawn. "We can house them better than anyone. How soon would they come?" "They'll begin to arrive by daybreak, I imagine." The white look left Mrs. Woodlawn's face. Now there was something to be done. "Daybreak," she said. She looked at the clock. It was 10 minutes past 11. "I'll call Katie Conroy and we'll begin to bake," she cried. "No telling how long they'll be here, and they'll be hungry. We can shake down pallet beds in the parlor for the women and children. The men can bunk in the hay. If those wicked redskins don't fire it before they have a chance to bunk, fetch me 6 strings of dried apples from the storeroom, Johnny, and a bucket of water from the spring. I know, we can use up some of the turkeys on the neighbors. I'm sure it will be a great treat to them as are not accustomed to excellent fowls excellently cooked. Besides, if this thaw continues, my beautiful birds will be lost, and heaven knows if the savages come I wouldn't have them eat my turkeys. What, Caddie? Are you still here? Get to bed as fast as you can, child. I'll call you at daybreak." Massacre. In those days the word massacre filled the white settlers with terror. Only 2 years before, the Indians of Minnesota had killed 1,000 white people, burning their houses and destroying their crops. The town of New Ulm had been almost entirely destroyed. Other smaller uprisings throughout the Northwest flared up from time to time, and only a breath of rumor was needed to throw the settlers of Wisconsin into a panic of apprehension. "The Indians are coming! The Indians are coming!" Without waiting to hear more, people packed what belongings they could carry and started the long journey back east. Others armed themselves as best they could from the attack and gathered together in groups, knowing that there was strength in numbers, sometimes leaving the women and children at home. The men went out to attack the Indians, preferring to strike first rather than be scalped in their beds later. The fear spread like a disease, nourished by rumors and race hatred. For many years now the whites had lived at peace with the Indians of western Wisconsin, but so great was this disease of fear that even a tavern rumor could spread it like an epidemic throughout the country. By daybreak the next morning people began arriving at the Woodlawn farm from all directions. They came bringing what food and bedding they could carry. They did not know how soon they would dare return to their homes, nor whether they would find anything but a heap of charred sticks when they did return. Of course, school was not to be thought of, and in spite of a general fear, the children were delighted with an unexpected holiday. With shouts of joy, the young Woodlawns greeted Maggie and Silas Munn, Jane and Sam Flusher, Lyda Silbernagel. Katie and her mother came too. Katie's eyes were round with alarm, and she kept close in the shadow of her mother's hoop skirt. Both of them were quiet, asking nothing but protection. The other children played a spy around the barn and farmyard, their pleasure cleanly edged by the nearness of the danger. An exciting game became much more exciting when, on coming out of hiding, One felt that he might find himself face to face with the Redskins instead of tow-headed Maggie or gentle Sam. That's 120.